I'm ridiculously excited to be making this video today. Hi everyone! I've wanted to take my family to Disney World in Florida since before I even had kids. I went as a kid myself, twice with my family, and it just gave me the most wonderful, amazing memories that still to this day I look back on those holidays and it puts a massive smile on my face. So I've been campaigning my husband for a long time to let us take the kids to Disney World, and this year he has given in and agreed for me to plan our holiday to Disney World, which is just the most exciting thing ever. We've been to Disneyland in Paris twice and that was fantastic, but I just know from the time that I went there that Disney World in Florida is just a whole different ball game. It's amazing. I've decided to make a series of Disney World Plan With Me videos. I've spent probably more time than I care to admit researching and planning so far before we booked and since we've booked, and I just thought there's so much information out there. I couldn't get over how many blogs and YouTube channels and websites there are. So the idea is that I will share any of the tips or information that I uncover along the way as I'm planning my trip. Perhaps some of you might find it useful or just enjoy watching the videos, because even before we booked our trip I loved watching YouTube videos on planning a Disney World holiday. So the first thing that I looked into was how we were going to tell the kids, and yeah, I started looking into this even before we booked it. I knew that I wanted that bit to be a memory in itself, and when we went to Disneyland in Paris we didn't tell them anything, we kept it a big secret, and all we told them was that we were going on an adventure in the morning and we had to pack a case, and that was it. We didn't tell them anything else. So we got on a train, we got on an underground train, we got on the Eurostar, we got on another train, and they still had no clue where they were going. They were very little at the time, so they didn't ask a great deal of questions. They just kind of accepted that Mummy and Daddy are going on this crazy adventure and we're being dragged along. And we told them literally, we got out of the train station and the Disney park is right next door. So we came out of the station in Paris, walked around the corner, and you can see the gates, and that's when we told them where we were. And they were really excited. Actually, they were a bit more stunned than I filmed it, and I was expecting a lot of jumping up and down. There wasn't so much of that. There was more like, oh my gosh, where are we? So even though I didn't get the jumping up and down reaction that I was hoping for, it was lovely. And once we got through the gates and they could see the castle, that's when it really kicked in and they got really excited. This time they're that bit older, and for one I wouldn't be able to keep the secret, right? I'm too excited about it and I want to involve them in the planning, so I don't want to keep it a secret until we go. So I knew I wanted to make a memory out of it and something more than just telling them over the dinner table. So on New Year's Eve we set up a bit of a treasure hunt for them, and I hid some letters from the sign behind me, spelt out Disney World all around the house, and gave them clues like we would do on Easter with an Easter egg hunt, and they had to search around the house and find them. And they brought all the letters back, they were jumbled on the floor, and they had to spell it all out into Disney World. Now it took a while and I had to give them the clue of showing them the box which said we are going to, and once they had the first couple of letters in place, obviously that was it. They knew exactly what was going on. It was a lovely way to do it. I think they had good fun doing the treasure hunt, and Aidan, my youngest, who's only 2, was just following them around the house thinking this was the greatest game ever. There's lots of different ways that you can tell your kids, but I thought that one worked perfectly for us. So one of the biggest things I wanted to research when we decided to book a holiday was where to stay. And again, there are so many different options, whether you want to stay on a Disney resort or off resort, or even do self-catering in a villa. For us, we stayed in a Disney hotel both times we went to Paris, and I enjoy the convenience of being relatively close to the parks, not necessarily walking distance. In Florida, obviously they're further away. I just wanted to be a part of the whole thing the whole time we were there. With little ones, I think it's nice to have the experience of actually staying in a hotel, and yeah, it does cost a little bit more, but I think if you book at the right time, it's definitely worth looking into at least. And there are options for all budgets. We looked at some of the budget resorts. I looked longingly at some of the more luxury deluxe resorts, which are amazing. We settled on a moderate resort. It just seemed like a good fit for us. Plus they do a lot of extra bits and pieces and activities like movies under the stars and things like that. It just looked like a really nice hotel. One of the big deciding factors when it came to choosing our accommodation was that Disney actually had a deal on where you could get the Disney dining plan included at no extra charge on your booking, and that was a massive deal for me. We as a family enjoy food and the dining experience when we go on holidays, so that was a massive incentive for me, because not only did it mean that we'd kind of prepaid for all of our food in advance and didn't have to worry about it when we're there, but also it gives you dining options within the Disney parks and the other Disney hotels. What I hadn't realised when I first booked the holiday, and which my husband thinks is absolutely hilarious, is that you can book your restaurants and your dining reservations 6 months in advance. I think that's amazing. Like, to me, as somebody who likes to plan and research stuff to the nth degree, that's like genius idea. My husband, on the other hand, thinks I've completely lost the plot, and how could we possibly know where we're going to want to eat like 180 days in advance? But trust me, if you have specific ideas of where you want to eat or the particular dining experiences that you want to do, you're going to need to book it that far in advance. I couldn't believe it as I was booking it, and I literally was sat there 180 days before our departure date with my list and my laptop. I was ready to go. I was armed and ready. But the slots, there were so many slots already gone, and I was there first thing in the morning. I couldn't believe it. So people really do book that far in advance, and if you've got specific ideas of where you want to eat. Like, I knew we wanted to go to the Cinderella's Royal Table, for instance, and we're massive Lilo and Stitch fans, and there's a restaurant called Ohana in the Polynesian resort themed to Lilo and Stitch, so I knew we wanted to go there, and Beauty and the Beast, Be Our Guest restaurant, which is relatively new. I knew we wanted to try that one as well, and those three are ones that we'll book up really, really quickly. So yeah, that was a big tip, which I was really grateful to find out that far in advance, because it meant that I was prepared and able to make my reservations as soon as they were available to me. So my plan is to do a different video every couple of weeks on different areas of the holiday that I am planning or that I've been researching. Hopefully, if you're planning a holiday of your own to Disney World in Florida or Disneyland in Paris, or you just like Disney or like planning, then you might enjoy watching them. I also plan to share some of the other YouTubers and blogs that I've found along the way that I found so useful. So far, the ones that I've really enjoyed following on YouTube are Charlotte, whose channel is called Lilmisschickas, I think. I'll link it below, and a girl called Ellie Steadman, who recently vlogged her trip to Disney World, and I've loved watching those. It's got me really excited to go. I love watching their videos. They make me really excited about the holiday, plus give me loads of information and really useful tips. Blogs that I've enjoyed reading. The top two that I would start with are the Disney Tourist blog, anything and everything you could possibly ever imagine about Disney World. It's all on there. It's so much information, and it is a bit overwhelming when you first go onto the website, but you soon kind of find out which areas you want to read about and what you don't so much. But I definitely check it out. And don't look at this one if you're hungry, but the Disney food blog is amazing. All the information about all the restaurants and the character dining. I think it even has menus on there. Oh my god, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. It gives lists of all snack options that you can get on your Disney dining plan, drinks, where to go to get the best view of fireworks and things like that. Just really useful tips. If, like me, food plays a big part of any major life decision, then if you're planning a trip to Disney World, then you will need to check out the Disney food blog. Again, I'll link that one below. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, even if you're not planning a holiday to Disney, and like me, you just like looking at other people's holiday planning videos. I'm a bit weird like that. In the meantime, please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in my next video.